Hi guys, my name is Ellie, welcome to my channel. Today we are doing a palette focus on the Urban Decay Alice Through the Looking Glass palette. So, the thing actually pulls out, so I'm just going to have this going. I think I love this palette. It's been a while since I've used it. I did a couple, like, using it for a week or two things. And I have some actual texture in some of the palette, the little pans that I wasn't expecting. You can't pick it up very well. Also, there's hammering in the background. But yeah, I want to use it. It's on my list to see which I do and don't want to pan for next year. And I thought we'd get going and kind of get an idea of where the palette is at, because this palette's getting old. I think it's 2-3 years old, something like that. So we're just doing eyeshadow primer on my lids. So yeah, this was my first palette that I really saw, or at least appealed to me, being done in collaboration with a video, movie, anything really. Everything else was the color story or something like that that was appealing to me. And it was back when they weren't doing, at least in my viewer and what I was watching, they weren't doing as many videos. Oh, there's glitter on my lid. There's glitter everywhere. I was playing with some glitter shadows last night. Just putting them on my face and swatching them and being ridiculous, and it's now everywhere because that's how glitter works. Also, it came packed in a sprinkling of loose glitter. So, good for me, because I don't mind finding glitter everywhere. I find it, like, cute. I might not always find it cute, but currently, I think it's cute. I like it. Anyway, this is one of the first times I saw a collaboration product with something like a movie that really called to me. Because I love the Alice in Wonderland. I like the spin-offs. I like the use of the story in multiple mediums. I'm just setting my crease to brow bone with a beige shade. Not beige, cream bone. But yeah, so me and my sister grew up on Alice in Wonderland. We had the Disney version, the little animated movie, and she eventually bought the books as well. So I've read Through the Looking Glass. I haven't read Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, or at least not that I remember. Because I remember reading Through the Looking Glass, and it was so weird. It was strange. Especially because I was not aware it was, like, when I started reading it, I was like, this is different than Alice in Wonderland. What's going on? This isn't like Disney. And I didn't have the history with the first one as kind of a, well, it's gonna get weird. So, I saw this. I was excited. When it came out, or like around when it came out, I very quickly went to, I'm just going to put a little bit more just to make sure I don't have any sticky bits left. That is why I do this, if anybody ever wonders, because I want the lids to be really grippy, but I want the upper section of my lid to have a lot of blend, to be able to blend out, to not have, to not get patchy or grab at parts. So setting it over a thin amount of skin tone shadow, for me, does a good job with that. I'm also going to take this little satin white that I've been brushing over my brow bone for a little bit of shimmer. And then we can actually get into the shades in the palette. So yeah, we grew up on it. I do remember one time we made these, probably disgusting. Like, if I made them today, they would be disgusting. But we made these cookies. We were trying to make eat me cookies. So we made, like, standard sugar cookies. And then we got, like, we tried to make a new icing, and it was just so much sugar. We were writing on them and doing little patterns. It was real cute. But, hence, a lot of my attachment with Alice in Wonderland. And I like it a lot. So I'm going to start with Reflection, and then probably put some chessboard to go with it, and maybe blend the two for my crease. Let's see how reflection goes. So yeah, I saw this was coming out. I got really into it. I wasn't aware that Urban Decay had done a previous collection. That's a nice little transition shade. Yeah. So yeah, I was not aware that Urban Decay had done an Alice in Wonderland palette, because it had been before I had either been paying attention or been into makeup. That's cute. So, let's try chessboard. This could be dangerous. And I still haven't seen this actual movie. It was one thing that I was supposed to see with my friend Jen when it came out. I like that too. And we had issues coordinating it. On the days we were both free, there wasn't a good showtime available. If there was a good showtime, it was a problem for one of us. And then we were like, okay, fine, we'll just like watch it when it comes out on DVD or something and rent it. And we did not, and now she's in China, so I guess if I want to watch this, I'll have to watch it on my own. Oh, that's quite nice. I do like it. I'm gonna put a little bit more on just because I can. Just kind of like sit it deeper in the crease. But yeah, so I saw this was coming out. I was really excited. These were a lot of colors I didn't have. So right around when it came out, I went to go see it because I was still like, oh, let me swatch it in store. Let me see what's going on. I'm going to do the same combination on the lower lash line. Yeah, I was not as familiar with Urban Decay's formulas, and so I wanted to touch it. And mainly see it in person. I wanted to see it in person. But it was gorgeous. And I think I went by myself. I think I had some friends that were going to go with me to be tell me to calm down, and they weren't available. Oh, that's quite nice. So I didn't have anybody to calm me down, and the sales lady used something very effective, which I at the time was not as aware they were doing, which was creating that urgency, creating that panic, because it was right around the Sweet Peach palette the first time it came out, and when it sold out and nobody could get it, and it was just everybody wanted it, but it was gone before they brought it back. So that had just happened. The Urban Decay was here, and she mentioned the fact that they only had so many palettes, and this is how many they'd sold, which could have been a lie, but did send that sense of urgency of, I need to take this home with me now. So I bought it. And I took it home, and I touched it, and it was gorgeous. And I remember showing my mom, and be like, look how pretty it is. I'm going to take a little bit of this darker brown. There is not a darker brown in here. I use the darkest matte brown, and I want just a little bit more depth before I go over it with some of the shades that I want to use. But yeah, that was very effective on her part. She got me. I bought it, and it worked well enough that I got home and I was touching it and swatching it, and it was gorgeous. And I think that was when I was considering, I started to have weird anxiety about loving it, using it up, which, using up eyeshadow, especially at the stage I was at, using it up and not being able to get comparable shadows. So I was considering buying a second one to be available for when I used it up. Because I had no reference point. I hadn't used up any shadows by then. But I was worried about it. I was worried about finding a favorite color in here that I couldn't dupe, which honestly, most of these you can find something similar nowadays, and it just might have been that I was less aware of what I had access to, because I hadn't gotten into as many indie brands and online purchases. So I'm just taking a little pencil brush with that brown. So I can tie the two together. So yeah, I bought it, I used it. Back then, it might not have been that far back, but I did at some point do like a 1 week, 1 palette type thing, so I would like make myself rotate through and use my items. Which I hadn't found the panning community yet, so I thought I was just like so cool to think of this. It was not unique, it was not new, but I thought I was awesome. I was so sure I was awesome for it. Oh, okay, so next things I want to do is I want to do Salads and Grum in the outer half and Paradox on the inner half. And maybe, no, probably not now, but at some point I want to do that with Duchess as well. So I'm going to take this bigger brush for Salads and Grum to get it over the outer half. Yeah, that was one of those, I did not really know what I was doing then. I understood using up products. That's quite nice. And I was aware that people talked about, you know, how hard it would be to find a dupe if they found their favorite thing in a limited edition color. But I hadn't found the panning community and the fact that people did use up colors. I didn't, you know, that was not something I'd seen. I'm just putting it on for fun now because this is a gorgeous color. And it's spreading so nicely. Okay, we're going to stop before I just paint my whole lid in it because it's gorgeous. So far the formula is still quite nice, which is good to know. I'm not expecting like the brighter mattes to have held up as well. I was really hoping that like the shimmers would still be creamy, that the neutrals would still have pigmentation, which they do seem to. And like a lot of this palette kind of makes me laugh now, because like this red, I had no idea what to do with this kind of a red, and I love these reddy burgundies right now as well. I had no idea what to do with Paradox. Gone Mad as a dark purple like confused me because I'm like, but it's so dark, and so many of these shades I'm like, oh, it's so dark. So something like Chessboard, which I put in the crease, was really, really dark for me, and I didn't know how to deal with that. And nowadays, that's a standard crease shade for me. It's just not that dark. But yeah, that was young, naive Ellie, unsure of the ways of the world, and like, you still hear people talk about, oh, well, I'm worried about using this up. But the truth of the matter is a lot of people use products up, and then, yes, they do miss them, but by then they've found a dupe, or they found that it's just not their favorite shade. So we're going to go in with Paradox now on this guy. Oh, that looks so purple. It's not normally that purple. Kind of blends into more of like a peach on the lid. Kind of cute though, especially blending into Salads and Grum. That is another thing, is I didn't understand the color story because so many of these shades were the kind of shades that I was not, you know, aware of yet. I hadn't used them. I didn't know how to use them yet. So I remember picking up, you know, like 1 or 2 shades and like not building that many looks using just it. I would use it for a lot of like pops. I'm gonna take a little bit more of Salads and Grum and just kind of make sure it doesn't disappear. Yeah. Oh, that's really nice. I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, And then there is a decent amount of fallout on my face, but I set my face pretty well before doing this. The other thing I want to do is I think instead of using one of the other ones, I'm going to use Duchess. So I'm going to put Duchess, maybe overlay a little, like a touch of Lily on the inner corner. Let's see what happens. I'm going to start with this brush. So we're going to pick up Duchess. Just kind of whoop, 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 whoop. Yes, it's doing what I wanted. It's getting this really like soft peachy pink corner, which blends into the other colors quite nicely. I think I will go over it with Lily though, just because Lily is really pretty. Yeah, so I hadn't gotten into the way I use colors now, so if I had bought this palette fresh recently, I would use it a lot differently. Oh, that's pretty. Let's see how Lily goes over the top. Because Lily is just kind of like a white shade with some pink shimmer. Yeah, that kind of amps it up a bit. Also, my lighting is kind of crap. So yeah, it made a really nice look, and this is not anything I would say is out of the ordinary or too strong or anything, but back in the day, this is not something I would have come up with. This is not something I would have thought to use. I do kind of want to touch these. This is Hatter and Heads Will Roll. Just kind of see how the pigmentation is. Not bad for being very old, very bright shades. This one is picking up the lotion off my hand. So yeah, stuff like that. Heads Will Roll and like Metamorphosis were my true like, but I don't have any colors like it. I didn't even use these colors that much. Like, not really that much at all. And I'm tempted to do something weird in the lower lash line, but I don't think I actually want to. So we're just going to put it away. So yeah, this is a holdover from back when I thought having a dupe of a whole palette was a useful idea. So naive little Ellie. And like, this packaging is cute, but I have since kind of wished it was much slimmer, because like this whole top with the mirror and like these open up, it's really cool and it's very cute, but this entire thing could have been this small. Could have been significantly smaller than this anyway. This is all just chunky extra packaging. Back when I was using this a lot more though, being able to just drag this into the bathroom with me was fantastic, because I haven't used this mirror to do my makeup ever. But there are some gorgeous shades in here. So pigmentation's still looking good, so we're good to use it next year in my big aggressive plan to pan a bunch of makeup. So I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my face, and we are finished with the look. I really like how it turned out. I think it's gorgeous. I think it is like hinting at color, but not being something abrasive, which I'm trying to find a good way to use wearable without, you know, I have been one of those people in the past who said, well, everything's wearable if you put it on your face because you're wearing it, but easy to wear. It's not even a good word either. Something that you can pick up and not feel scared of the color, but still start to edge into it. So yeah, I really wish Urban Decay was making palettes like this with this much purposeful color story that, you know, ties into stuff. These are colors that were there because they were in the movie, and they found ways to pair them together that really work quite well. And I feel like a lot of others are not doing this right now. But pigmentation's still good, colors are pretty. I'm excited to use this a lot and get some more looks going. So yeah, also, I'm trying to find a way to make, you know, wearable make sense. It still doesn't, but the kind of thing that more neutral or more cautious makeup wearers would be likely to dip their toe in. But I have to go, because we're cooking tonight, so we have to go to the store. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all next time.